Oh God. Okay, so I was
Oh,
just
we're recording.
listening. Yeah. So, but I was just about your noise you just made. I was just listening to Lucas, my yoga teachers college trainer, which
Mm-hmm.
I'm done with my yoga teachers college. I'm only
Mm-hmm.
yawning because Marcus is making me yawn. So I'm done with yoga teachers college, but I'm doing a hip opening challenge, and he was talking about like why people like to go to not why people like to go to church, because this is not why you like to go to church, but why some people like to sing at church, or some people like to sing around a campfire, or like do or whatever, because it's your vagus nerve, and it starts to like calm your nervous system and blah blah blah. So did you know that happens when you go to church? That's why everybody feels peaceful.
No,
It's true. Just like do that.
I don't know. I didn't used to feel very peaceful at church. I'm be real
Were
with
you
you.
singing?
Yeah, like if I was like to be like singing and stuff like that, I didn't used to feel peaceful because I felt pressured to stand up, and I was like, I don't really want to stand up.
Oh, I totally know what you mean, though. When they're like, please stand or please rise. I mean, because it's the Catholic shit. Please rise. You're like, no, I don't want
Yeah,
to. It's weird. People are looking at me. I feel uncomfortable.
it was like you feel bad if you didn't stand up, but
Yeah. But
I'm good now though. So I be standing, sitting,
dancing,
dancing,
running,
all types of stuff.
hitting people with fake plants.
Do I ever hit somebody fake once?
When you were doing the that skit thing.
Oh.
What were you saying again?
Is this your king?
Is this your king? Fake plant. I was like, oh, that hurts.
You know what? You know what was funny? The fact that like I didn't even know, but I trusted you enough to tell me if I be hitting people with fake plants at church.
Yeah, you did. Yep. You're like, oh, I did.
Oh man,
Did
that's
you hit
really
Tony?
funny.
No, or Tony was still hitting somebody too.
Tony was who played Jesus? Matt played Jesus.
Yeah.
Me and
Guys,
Tony was hitting Matt.
this is Marxist church. They hit people with fake plans and scream, is this your God? Is this your king?
On Easter.
I went to a church for Easter.
We beat people on Easter.
Yeah, they beat people with fake plants until they bleed. Body of Christ.
It was an April Fool's joke.
You walk in, and if you're white, you get 25 extra smacks, right?
Oh man, that's funny.
It's your church.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. I think Marcus choreographed it too. He's like, let's beat someone.
Definitely.
Yep. Anyway.
Speaking of choreography, I am so excited for classes to start up on the 8th.
Yay. Wait,
of
8th of what?
September.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool.
They are starting back up. Enrollment has been fun, you know.
Yeah.
I'm this semester I'm teaching hip hop 2.
Good.
Boys combo, which is hip hop and mime.
Okay.
Step, adult hip hop.
Oh.
And boys tumbling.
Tumbling? Can you tumble?
Mm-hmm. I can't do like aerials and stuff like that, but I can like do some low key tumbling.
Yeah, I've seen you do like somersaults and things.
And then I'm helping in a tumbling class to get better at spotting.
Okay. Yeah, you're just gonna let people fall. And then hit them.
I want to take African, so I'm hoping somebody signs up for African.
Yes.
So
I've told you this forever. I told you African Lowly.
I mean, yeah, but we get free classes at POS.
Yeah.
And
so is somebody teaching them then?
Yeah, Erica's teaching African. And so as long as people sign up for the class, like the teachers can take it for free.
What ages?
I think it's like 14 and up.
Wow.
12 or 14 and up.
I'd like to send Harper.
Send them to boys tumbling. Both of them can take boys tumbling.
Ellison would love boys tumbling.
Rumble in the jungle.
Yeah, well, he does yoga trapeze in his bed, so he's like, look at me, and flips. I'm like, why are you always flipping? He needs to tumble. He's always flipping around. So yeah, and Harper just needs coordination.
Got you.
Which you know
Well,
is true.
we all need a little coordination in our lives.
We do. He falls off of a bench when he eats, though, so that's he
I
does.
had I had some rice the other day, and
Yeah,
I haven't had any rice in a very, very long time.
you love rice,
I love rice, and I was like, man, this it was shrimp fried rice. I
and you
treated
love
myself.
that, but you hate something. You hate onions in it.
Yeah, I don't want any
God,
onions
why
in
do
it.
I know all these things?
But you gotta get the bean sprouts. You have to get the bean sprouts.
You would be
Yeah.
so annoying though. No onions. I'd be like, bitch, I already made the stir fried rice. You pick out the damn
This is
onions.
pre-fried.
Yeah, I make this in big ass quantities. You pick that shit out.
They probably do be going off on me.
I'm sure they're like, fuck you.
I was so spoiled as a kid. I would be like, no, no onions, chicken or what did I used to get when I was little? Ham fried rice, no onions.
You're a bougie little
Um,
shit.
I remember
Yeah,
my
you know that.
dad went and got us like all some food from someplace, and I was like, Dad, it's onions on it, and I felt so bad. I used to like, I feel bad when I do my dad any type of wrong,
Hmm.
like
Because
if
he
I,
works so hard.
I guess so. I don't know. Like I just feel bad. My dad don't be doing nothing to nobody. He just I
But he's
remember
still.
I tried to throw him a lotion bottle when I remember this very vividly. I tried to throw him the bottle of lotion and like I threw it to him and I didn't tell him I was throwing it to him. So I was like, Dad. And he like turned and that mug hit him on top of his head. And my dad is bald. So it just like doom and it hit him like it was like hard. And he was like, dang it, Marcus, it hurt. Like, I was like, I'm sorry, Dad.
Dads get a little bit of abuse, I feel like. Like
Yeah.
Jason for sure gets abuse in our house. So yeah. the
Treat your
kids
fathers right.
the kids are just very rough. I mean, they're rough in general, but like with him, it's like no hold back. It's like yeah.
Man, after the whole thing with summer camp, because we just finished summer camp on last
Yeah.
Friday, I was just like, man, I can't wait to have daughters. Like, even if I want at least one son, at least one.
What if you just have boys? I mean,
I would be kind of upset because I would want one daughter.
okay.
I do want one daughter, but I wouldn't be like too upset because like I got like my brother, I got my older sister and my other brother. He already has two daughters, so like
Right.
it would be like all y'all are my kids, and
Right.
then like like Olivia, and Mickey, and Taman and Tony and people like that. If they had daughters, of course, they wouldn't be like my daughters as well. But
Yeah.
it's still like it's something different.
Right.
I would just at least want one
Well,
daughter and at
I
least
really wanted a daughter to begin with. But
you
that
don't
didn't.
seem like you would enjoy that.
Well, didn't happen. So I am a boy mom for sure now.
Yeah,
Before I maybe would have been more a girl mom because I wasn't a mom before. So I don't know,
yeah,
but like it just became like boy, boy, and then it's just where you go. But
yeah. I guess I didn't meet you until you were
I
already
had a child.
yeah.
Yeah, you didn't. Yep.
Speaking of boy,
Hmm.
boy, oh boy, am I excited to be back.
Wow. And everybody stopped listening. God. Why, guys?
Oh man, I
Oh.
took a nap before this and my alarm went off and I was pissed.
Mm-hmm. And then he's like
Pissed.
getting on, and then it was like 10 minutes later. I was
Yeah,
like, "You're the slowest getting on."
yeah.
That's why I'll tell everybody in the house. I'm like, "It should be like 10 minutes, might be longer." Marcus is slow.
I am waking up for me is trash.
It's horrible. Like when we traveled and you were sleepy, I just want to smack you. I was like,
Yeah,
"Stop with the face," and just ugh.
it's trash.
He acts like he's a bear that's been in hibernation for the entire winter.
I literally
Every
am
time.
part Baronese, pretty sure. I'm definitely part Berenstein bear. Um, definitely like a third Berenstein.
So weird. Weirdo.
Just being honest.
Oh my.
No.
But
But
what are you excited to be back at?
I'm excited to be back on this Zoom call recording with you for our beautiful podcast that we have dubbed Unapologetically Human. Um
That's right.
it's great to be back, you know. Haven't missed a week. That's a
No,
lie.
we haven't missed a week, and we've only missed 1 week in like 52 weeks almost.
Something like that.
Yeah, that's pretty
Oh,
freaking good.
it's actually not the 20. I always say it's the 27th.
Yeah.
That is when we started. It's August 22nd. August 22nd.
That's the set. No, it's 2 Saturdays from now. Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
I gotta change that because I put it on the calendar.
Yeah, we put up our first episode August 22nd at 7:27.
Whoa, look at that. Marcus is so the girl in this relationship. I'm like, when? No, I think that's great. That's why I stuck it on the calendar. I thought about it. I was like, oh yeah, it's our anniversary.
I'm pretty good with dates like that.
Yeah.
Like I don't remember
when's my birthday?
December 8th.
Fine.
I don't remember like anything that I have to do.
No, you don't. It's awful.
never
That's why I
do.
check with you over and over. I'm like, are we sure we do not have a conflict? And I try to be really nice about it, not like a Marcus, but I'm like, hey, just want to make sure you don't have a conflict since you remember them like 24 hours later constantly. Yeah. You're like, oh shit, I have to teach. I'm like, what? How do you not know that? Like, yeah, you're awful with it.
I remember nothing, but I do be remembering like dates like that and stuff like that.
That's good. So you don't have like you have like long-term recall instead of like short-term.
Like I had my best friend growing up. Her name was Kendall. Her birthday is May 11th. We haven't spoken in I don't know how long.
Yeah,
it's been. I just found her on Instagram, and like last year or something like that. And but like we haven't had a conversation in so long.
I do remember a couple friends' birthdays that I was just like really, really close with that I don't talk to anymore. And I'll be like, oh, that's weird. Why do I know that?
Yeah.
But, stuck in your brain.
I never remember anybody's birthday in September, though. I feel like it's like 37 birthdays in September. I remember I don't know what Michaela's birthday is. It's like September, I think it's like the 14th or something like that. But I'm not confident about that at all.
Wow. Wonder why.
Wonder Woman. I don't know.
Cool.
What's up, guys? Though, Unapologetically Human. We're here, out here, at my house, at Mandy's house, via Zoom. Safe.
Zoom.
30 miles away.
Yeah, that's gonna change one of these days.
Yeah, I just want to give a quick shout out to God. Neither me or anyone in my family, nor you or anyone in your family have had any like complications health wise, and that's a blessing.
You mean with the coronavirus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been in quarantine like 6 months or something like that. 8 months or something.
5.
I don't know how long this stuff. I was thinking about it this morning. I don't know how long this. Excuse me.
That's another thing. He's very dramatic with his sneezes. You look like you're gonna punch somebody every time.
Yeah, if I'm finna sneeze around you, just run.
Just get away.
I would chase a child.
Please don't do that during these times. Don't be the sneezing COVID dude. No, have you heard though? Like the U.S. has hit 5 million cases, and over the last 2 weeks, there's been a 90% increase in children. Trump, kids can't get it. Send them to school. Shut up.
Not just Trump, the governor of Missouri. We talked about that, didn't we?
Yes. Ignorant. Yeah. So, yep, my kid's not going to school, and it's all virtual. So there you go. Yeah. The only schools that seem to be open are like religious schools. And Jason said that's because they think Jesus will solve everything. Isn't that nice?
Honestly, I don't know about. I haven't heard about any what's it called schools?
Yeah,
like religious schools, but I do know that what's that mug?
Where you used to live?
Nah, I don't know if they're going back to school like regular.
They're probably
The
not.
schools out here are.
Really?
Schools out here are going back normal.
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure the Parkway District.
I thought that was not.
I thought they were. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know.
That's where their church is.
Okay.
It's in the Parkway School District, and then
Okay.
yeah.
Well, we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what happens. And that's only really first semester stuff right now too. So once, the semester gets going and they reevaluate, we'll see what happens.
We got so much rain.
Yep.
We got more than our average in August.
Really?
In one day.
Shut
that
up.
day it rained overnight, like
Mhm.
2 or 3 days ago.
Mm-hmm. Well, it stormed
Saturday.
last night. Didn't it storm?
Yeah, it stormed last night, but I think it was Saturday that it was Saturday. It rained like so much because the next day I was going to the church to the stream and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was like so much flooding. And I was like, dang.
Yikes.
And then that day our average was like 3.7 or something like 3.5. It might have been just 3 inches.
Oh.
We got 4 just in one night. For the whole then that was like the whole average for August.
Very interesting. Well, we did just talk about global warming,
Yeah. And then last night it rained a bunch. And that storm was huge.
That storm was big, yeah.
Like I think Tony said it was like stretching to Chicago.
Chicago definitely had a storm. And my mom is in Springfield and she said that they had some rain, but then the storm started here around like 6:30 or something, or 6. Like I don't know, but yeah, I was at the store and I had clothes outside because remember, you're supposed to hang your clothes outside. So I had clothes outside and I actually had like a rolling thing out there. I'm such a dummy. And I had like my clothes hanging and I was like, shit. And Jason was on a call and I was like, crap. I'm like, get the clothes inside. He's like, on a call. I'm like, raining. He didn't care. So he stayed on the call. So I had to get back and do that. And then I had a new yoga mat that I had outside, working it out. And I had to bring that in. So I made it back. Right before the stone. Where were you? Dancing?
Well, no, I went and picked the couch up yesterday. And I was taking the whole couch fit in Mr. Reggie's van. He just has like a regular like Dodge Caravan. I was like, you could do a whole.
You could live in that van.
Like opera concert in this van.
You could outfit it to go camping.
Literally. So, I was taking his car back to him, and then I think I got back, gave him the car. I got in my car, and Raven came with us. We were finna get something to eat. Mm-hmm. We went to go get something to eat. On our way there, it started just storming. So instead of getting what we were gonna get, we ended up getting Rallies just so it was quicker. We went back to Raven's house and played cards for like 6 hours.
Wow. What kind of cards?
We played 7-6-4 split. 7-6-4 pluck and slapjack.
I don't know how to play either of those.
Me and Tony went on a very long game of slapjack, like 15 minutes back and forth. Just.
Did you win?
I ended up losing.
Oh.
I don't know what happened. Like I was doing like really well the whole game, and then the tides turned. I was tired. I'm gonna chalk it up to me being tired
and hungry.
Yes, because I did get home and I made a sandwich, and it was like 1 a.m.
Goodness. All right. There you go. That's fun. Where were you going to eat?
Biology.
Ooh, that would be so much better.
Yeah, but before then, I was gonna get some soul taco.
That's delicious as well.
Yeah.
Mm-mm-mm. You can't go in there though.
No, you can go in. You just can't sit in there. You can go in to order.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, because
I don't think you could at first.
Yeah, no, because when I ordered last time, it was like a month ago. I don't know, maybe longer. And you had to order it online, then they brought it out to you.
Yeah, you can. They have it they have like a whole little pathway in there now. Ooh. Like everything's blocked off, but that little path, and you just walk straight up, order, get your food, go out. You can't
and go right back out your path.
Yeah, like you can't do anything. It's my nigga, come in here, order, get out. Like
Get out. All
so,
right. Did you hear about Biden chose his running mate?
yeah, I kind of woke up to that. He woke up he chose Kamala Harris.
Uh-huh.
I don't know how to feel about that because I'm pretty sure she was on some like wild stuff.
I
She was
mean,
doing some weird stuff at first.
I'd have to look at everything she stands for because I haven't looked at that in a while, but yay, black woman. That's good.
I mean, yeah, but
But we still need to look.
all skin folk ain't kin folk.
No,
So
I know.
I'm not sure as to if this would be a good thing. And then Biden, I don't really trust Biden either. I really don't trust
Yeah.
politicians.
No, who does?
But
No, well, I mean, yeah, a lot of people do, but I don't.
I
I'm
don't trust Biden
hairless.
because he looks like a hairless kangaroo, and that
Yeah.
makes me very uncomfortable to look at.
Well, would you like looking at Trump?
Well, no, but I feel like it would be almost like the same thing of like, people are like, let's impeach Biden. I mean, let's impeach Trump.
Yeah.
And then he was like, well, you're still gonna be stuck with Putin. So it's like if somebody was gonna be like, yeah,
You
let's
mean
impeach Biden.
you
I
mean
mean, not Putin,
Pence?
Pence. Same thing.
It is the same thing. That's why I didn't correct you. I was like, well, you are. It's true.
Yeah, like you're gonna be stuck with him. So then I feel like it would almost being the same thing. Like let's impeach Biden or something like that. Then it'd be like, well, you're still gonna be stuck with Kamala because I'm pretty sure she was on some wild stuff. Like out of all the
right.
black women that you could have chosen, you chose Kamala.
I'm
I'm 90% sure she was on some wild stuff.
all right. We'll have to look.
The
We'll
black
look and we'll
community was
update you
upset.
guys. Well, there's lots of reasons to be upset. Including our story today. You want to dive in?
Yeah. So let's just lay the foundation.
All right. Do you want to lay it or you want me to lay it?
I'm gonna lay it. Correct me if I'm wrong anywhere.
All right. I've got all the facts. So
Bet it up. So guys, this actually might be a two-parter. I could see this being a two-part conversation.
we'll see what happens.
So peep game. Boom. We're in Louisville, Kentucky. All right.
Sure.
It's very late at night.
What day?
Mid-morning. It is a Monday.
It's March 13th.
Is that a Monday? I guessed.
I have no idea, but it's
Let's
March
look it
13th. March 13th.
All right. So it's March 13th, Louisville, 2020. It's a Friday.
What a great guess.
Friday. So it's nighttime, early morning, like that cusp of, and a house was broken into. Boom. Door bashes open, footsteps. Bah, bah, bah. Shots rang out. Bah, 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 bah. Shots returned. From those shots, one person was found dead in her bed, sleeping peacefully in her house with her husband, boyfriend, with her boyfriend who was arrested. This story is a story of Breonna Taylor, who was killed while she was sleeping by police officers who busted into her and her boyfriend's house while they were sleeping without announcing themselves. And it was the wrong house, right?
No. So I have lots of facts that are going to add and possibly contradict some of the things you're saying. Do you want me to say it?
Cool. Go ahead.
All right.
Lay the foundation with the facts.
Will you tell me if some of these things are what you're thinking? Okay. Early morning, March 13th, like you said, Friday.
Yep.
I didn't have that date. I mean, I didn't have it. That was a Friday. Okay. Louisville, Kentucky. Okay. So there was there's a crack cocaine dealer named Jamarcus.
Boogaloo. Oh.
Jamarcus Glover. Okay, so he wasn't like a kingpin. It wasn't going to be like a national like headline arrest. It was like Louisville, Kentucky drug dealer. They wanted to get him. He had months long like narcotics problems. And so ending it there by arresting him would have been like, good, done, great, got somebody off the streets, end of story, right? So what ended up happening was there are officers that they decided they wanted to get him, Jamarcus Glover, and they wanted to get 5 different warrants. Okay, so they wanted one for his place, they wanted one for his ex-girlfriend Breonna Taylor's place,
Gotcha.
where they had seen, and well, they knew that some packages were being delivered there, or he had mail there, things like that. He used to live there with her off and on, I'm sure, and
Mm.
they were in a relationship, so having mail or things like that delivered, that's not strange to me. But
Right.
and they never had proof that it was like a drug package or anything like that, but they
Right.
did also see, her car, maybe he borrowed it, who knows, nobody knows the facts, was placed outside of some drug deal situations before. So they're like, hey, we're going to go check out his ex-girlfriend, which maybe he's there, maybe it's a drug house, we don't know, but we are also going to go and try and arrest him where he is. And they had all these different warrants. So they wanted a no-knock warrant for the Taylor residence, Breonna Taylor's house. And it was the judge that granted the no-knock. I think her name's Mary Shaw, maybe, I don't know, but she ended up signing everything, and now I think feels awfully about it. But what ended up happening is they go to her door, and this is what they say that they knocked on the door and said, it's police, blah blah blah. Knocked on the door, it's police, blah blah blah. And they said they did this for quite a while, and that they were trying to be like, hey, we don't need to use the no knock, we're gonna say who we are and try and get her to open the door, right?
Mm.
So what they say then is that they hear, or I guess Breonna Taylor's boyfriend, what's his name again?
I can't think of it.
Okay, we'll come up with it. But anyway, her boyfriend and her supposedly had fallen asleep watching a movie, and then they were woken up by this loud noise outside their house. So he's saying that his first thought was, hey, that could be her ex-boyfriend, and he's no good, no good at all, like we don't want him around here, blah blah blah. And she wakes up too, and she's like, who is it? Nobody answers. So they say that there was lots of noise outside, but no one ever said, hey, this is the police, or that's what the boyfriend said.
His name is Kenneth
So
Walker.
yes. So he thinks it could be Glover, the ex-boyfriend, and and then the battering ram hits the door, so he shoots because somebody's breaking into his house, and he's trying to protect himself and his girlfriend, and he is a legal, like, registered gun carrier, or however you say that. So because he shoots, and this is all from memory from this research, so I'm going to get to some more facts in a second, but I mean, these are facts. But so since he shot, he hit one of the officers in, I think, the femoral artery, so he could have bled out, right? But I mean, so they get him out, and since he hit an officer, they're saying you tried to kill an officer, they start shooting. That's a problem, but one of the bigger problems is somebody is shooting from, oh God, where was he exactly located? He was like blindly firing. He was in the outdoor patio, so he couldn't even see directly into the house, and he just starts shooting one of the police officers. So it just became like super chaotic, and they blindly fired 10 rounds into her apartment from just that outdoor patio. So that dude should not have been shooting out there, because you don't even know what the fuck you're shooting at. You're just shooting, right? And other people live around them. I think it's
I'm
an
sure,
apartment
like you said,
building.
it's an apartment.
Yeah, it's an apartment building. So there was too, like right next door, a pregnant mom and a 5-year-old kid. And some shots were in their place too. Thank God no one got hit, but yeah. So they say the police go in, they arrest Walker, the boyfriend. Breonna is alive for approximately 5 to 6 minutes, bleeding out pretty much. So no drugs were ever found in her place. She was never connected to her ex-boyfriend other than just having a relationship with him, except maybe some like spare mail got there. But you know how long it takes for your freaking mail to get forwarded? 8,000 years. So That's a fact. So, so all of this shit happened, and he had called 911 and was like, hey, somebody's breaking into my house, blah, blah, blah. And I guess he had been trying to report this, and then all the shit went loose, right? And went to shit. So anyway, he got arrested and had to leave his bleeding girlfriend on the floor. Didn't even get to say anything or do anything because they took him away. And then he was charged with trying to kill a police officer pretty much. And then she was pronounced dead at the scene about 6 minutes after they entered the apartment. So that's what
Gotcha.
I know. So they were sleeping, but they had woken up, is what he said. And they were both like, who is it? Who is it? And the biggest thing they're saying is like, he said, we asked who it was. We were like, who's at the door? Who's making all this noise? The police said we gave them adequate time. We kept saying who we were. So there was no body camera, no footage by anybody else. So that's where the big problem is right now, and why the investigation is still going, because there's no evidence except for he said.
So you said the police are saying that they gave adequate time to knock. I mean, to come to the door and stuff like that. There's no body cams because they were in plain clothes, weren't they?
They were not in uniform. Let me say one thing too really fast. Okay, so there were a couple people. Sergeant Mattingly began pounding on the door. He later told investigators he believed that Breonna Taylor was alone and wanted to give her sufficient time to answer. As the officers waited for a response, a neighbor poked their head out and asked what was going on. One of the officers, Brett Hankinson, who there's a big thing about him, he pointed his gun at the neighbor and said, "Get back inside." So then the first officer, Mattingly, he said Brett was worked up, and he said, I remember looking at Brett and saying, "Brett, relax, just relax." So he was already really worked up. And if I'm not mistaken, that Brett Hankinson, he's the one that was shooting
from outside.
So this is, I have, can I read to you kind of what they said happened? Well, if that's okay. So it says, they say, "Police, come to the door." Then they said, "We kept banging and announcing." And this is what Mattingly, the first Jonathan Mattingly, said. "Eventually, a lieutenant at the scene gave the order to go ahead and hit the door with the battering ram. Detectives used a battering ram to force their way in. Taylor had been watching moving in bed with her boyfriend, Kenneth Walker. She drifted off to sleep. Walker told investigators he heard banging at the door after midnight, and his first thought it was Glover. He said he knew Taylor had dated the accused drug dealer, and their on-again, off-again 7-year relationship, and he was concerned. Taylor had awoken and shouted, "Who is it?" Walker said there was no response. So then they got dressed, and he grabbed his gun. That is what his attorney is saying. The pounding on the door continued. She's yelling at the top of her lungs, and Walker says he is too at this point. They say, "Who is it?" There's no response, no anything. This is what the boyfriend says, Walker. As they made their way down a hallway toward the front door, the door flew off the hinges when they rammed the door. So he said, "I let one shot out. I still can't see who it is or anything." Mattingly, the guy who told the other guy to relax, was the first one in. He said, "I remember seeing a barrel," Mattingly. "Then in an instant, he saw the flash of a muzzle and the bullet hit his leg." So he's the one who told the other guy to relax who got shot. So then he returned fire, and he said he fired 6 times in total. Just him. So he remembers falling to the ground, being led outside, and then the other officers, Hankinson from outside, and one other guy also shot into the apartment. Let me see if there's anything else. Walker was unharmed. Yep, cell phone video shot by a neighbor and posted on social media by Taylor's sister captured the scenes. Okay, so the only video was after the scene happened. Okay, so that's good to know. I didn't even know there was that. So that was cell phone. Anyway, so they brought him out. They charged him. No drugs were found in the apartment. And she was pretty much left to die.
Yeah, there's like there's too many open, almost like open-ended questions for me to like really be like, okay, like the officers might have had like any type of, like they might have been what's the word I'm looking for? In all situations, I don't like to jump to a conclusion just based
Sure.
off of like what I'm hearing. So I try to like,
Right.
you know, so like they didn't have body cams on.
No. They didn't have uniforms on.
Right, they didn't even have the uniforms
No.
on. One, I think that should be something that needs to be like a bill or something like that, where like if they don't have body cams on and something like this happens, they should be eligible to be fired. It's like not being in the same, like not say it's like not doing your job correctly.
Yeah.
I
don't know. Is that a law? I mean,
I'm not sure. I don't feel like nobody says anything about it though.
I know a lot of times when you are in narcotics, you wear plain clothes, right? But would all of them be wearing plain clothes? I mean, I thought it was just like I watched TV shows. I don't know. But I thought it was just like two people or something, or a couple people. Like, should there be somebody in uniform that they bring with them so that they're like, hey, it's the police. It's legit. These are the police.
Yeah, I definitely think there should be somebody should have a body cam on. And there's cameras small enough for people who are in plain clothes. Put a mic on them or something. Like
put a GoPro on your head.
Something like there should be some type of something. This wouldn't even just back up like the people that are like this would back up the cops and the people in this situation.
Yeah.
Because okay, so say the movie Black and Blue, the only thing that saved her from being killed by the civilians or whatever was the fact that she had a body cam on that showed dirty cops trying to kill her after they killed it was like this dude's son after they killed his son.
Okay.
Like only thing that saved her from being killed was her body cam. And the only reason that the dirty cops that was trying to still get at her was because she still had proof that they were dirty cops and she had the body cam.
Right.
So like they should want to wear body cams.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a protection for both parties.
Yeah. And then what was it? The fact that she was shot and bled out and died, like,
yeah,
and nothing was done for her. They just arrested dude and nothing was done for her, and she just died in her bed. I feel like that points to the carelessness of the officers already. Like, it's like reading a sentence and you don't know what it's about, but you use your context clues. Like you can obviously see that okay, they were very careless because they just let her die. So obviously, if they were careless in this situation and just let her die, then why would they be careful enough to knock and be like, hey, we thought it was just her. So because we thought it was just her, we were gonna try to, knock and give her time and stuff like that.
Right.
Like that doesn't even the two parts of it like don't add up.
Right. Well, and also that guy, Brett Hankinson, he was already like wired, it seemed, from what his colleague is saying. So it's not like we're just assuming, like his colleague is saying that. And I don't know why if they thought it was just her, why is he on the other side shooting in to the apartment? Okay, so it does say that 8 days later, the new police chief gave that guy a termination letter. I don't know why I had to take 8 days, but the chief accused him of blindly firing 10 rounds into Taylor's apartment through a covered patio door and window that prevented him from assessing any threat posed by the occupants before opening fire. There's
That's
another
good,
thing. Yeah, but I'm glad he got fired, but I don't feel like this was supposed to be like, oh, let's give her time, blah, blah, blah. It's like, dude, you went outside. You couldn't even see. It was covered. And you just start blindly shooting in an apartment building. You don't know who lives there.
Yeah, that's putting other people, mad people, in danger.
It does say that some of his rounds penetrated a neighboring apartment and endangered the lives of 3 of its occupants.
Yeah. And I hate when people talk about like, of course, like cops are like in high stress situations and stuff like
Sure.
that. But that's what they train for.
Right.
Like this is what you train for. This is what you agree to.
Yeah.
If a doctor or like firefighters and stuff like that, like all of these people are surgeons, they're in high stake, like people's lives are on the line.
Yeah.
They can't just let people die.
Right. Because then you're going to get sued.
Yeah, like cops and doctors and fire, they're not all held to the same standard for some reason. But
Right.
all of them hold people's lives in their hand.
Right.
Firefighters are, of course, they're not fighting bullets in most cases. They're fighting fires, which is much more unpredictable.
Right.
Doctors, like, they're fighting a clock for the most part.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
And so it's just like all of them are put into high stakes situations, and all of them, like, doctors have to go through years of like training and stuff like that. Firefighters got to put in like mad hours and stuff like that of training, like, and I'm sure all of them have stressful situations at home. All of them are in high stakes situations at work, like their jobs are stressful and stuff like that. Surgeons don't even be getting sleep like that. They be in surgery for like 12 hours.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't like when people try to, I just want to dispel this argument if there is anybody listening to this, like, well, they were in high stakes situations. That's why he was so tense. He was tense before anything started. And then once it did, he starts firing off into the house. You're trained. You go through training for a reason. You're trained on how to handle these situations. You spend time like learning gun safety. You spend time learning how to properly, use your warrant and stuff like that. Like if they got a no knock warrant, in my mind, they already put in like what they was like going in. They were just trying to bust in and do what they had to do. If they already got the no knock warrant, there's no point to try to like knock and be like, hey, it's the police and stuff like that.
So, well, they're trained for de-escalation, and a lot of police officers, I feel like, I don't know how many, but a fair amount, I don't feel like follow the de-escalation. That's where the whole like defund the police is coming from and things like that, right? I mean, it's bigger than that, but so there was definitely not a de-escalation on their part, but also, what do you think? Because this is a sticky point a little bit. What do you think about her boyfriend, Walker, shooting at as soon as the door bust open and shooting? Like, do you think that there's blame there for this situation? Do you think that there's no blame? Like, what do you think?
No, I don't think there's blame really, because if somebody busts into your house, that's trespassing. So you're immediately trying to protect yourself and the person that's there with you. Usually you fire one shot like as a warning shot, like into the air. I think that's what people would be trying to do or something like that. But like, ain't nobody really trying to. If you fire a warning shot, they got a gun, and I'm sure when they bust in, you heard footsteps, so you hear it's like 8 people.
Right.
I don't really think there's a blame. He shot one time, right?
Yeah.
I don't really think there's a blame, because probably like once he started shooting, they probably said like police or something like that. But
yeah, well, they're saying that they've said the whole time it's the police.
I don't think so.
He's saying there was never an announcement.
Because if somebody is going to have a shootout with the police, they're not gonna fire one round.
Right.
So that makes no sense for them to be like, well, we kept saying it was the police. Even when we came in, we said it was the police and he shot us.
Right.
No.
That's what they're saying.
No, that doesn't even add up. If somebody's gonna have a shootout, they're going to have a shootout.
Right.
And if they was gonna have a shootout, where did she die? Did she die on the floor in her bed? Where did she die at?
She was in the hallway because
Like,
they had woken up because they heard noise.
mm-hmm.
So see, that's kind of what. Okay, so they're saying they hear noise outside. That's what he's saying. I don't know what it was though, because the police are saying they're announcing who they are. They say they've been woken up by noise, right? And then they're like, who is it? Who is it? And so they must hear something out there, but it might not have been like, hey, get up, get their clothes on, and he grabs his gun, and then they're in the hallway, and that's where it all goes down. That is what he said.
Yeah, the one round is what throws me. The dude, when we talked about last week, when he had the shootout with the police officers, he was letting them off. Like he had an AK, he was letting them off. These it's nighttime, early morning. They're literally like they're protecting their house because obviously you didn't announce yourself
Right.
to be the police.
Right.
It's one round. That junk is blowing me.
Well, okay, so they were saying that officers with guns drawn shout commands from behind the squad car as Walker walks backwards out of the complex with his hands in his air, is taken away in handcuffs. 6 days later, he was indicted by a grand jury of attempted murder of a police officer. Then the indictment was returned following a brief presentation in which members of the panel essentially said that Walker had opened fire on the police during a raid and that one of the officers had been shot. But those grand jurors were not told that Walker said he was unaware the people who broke into his and Breonna's home were the police and that he was acting in self-defense. And the grand jury was also not told of Breonna Taylor's death. So I guess that was then thrown out. And then they said that, so he's not indicted any longer, but they're saying, okay, since these things happened, all right, you're not going to be indicted any longer. But if you are re-indicted, that's another story. So he doesn't get like a double jeopardy thing here. He can, since he wasn't, officially, whatever, he gets to be accused again if it comes up, is what they're pretty much saying.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, how can the officers and whoever is in charge say, hey, he shot at us during a raid, but he didn't know it was us and his girlfriend was murdered.
Right.
That's kind of key evidence. So yeah. there's a lot of weird pieces to it.
Nah, yeah. Once again, like I said, I try to sit back and take in all the pieces and all the facts and stuff like that. And the facts don't point to officers who are trying to de-escalate and take care of a situation. By no means. No. What it sounds like happened is they got to the house and obviously they was making some noise of some sort, bunch of car doors closing or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure that if there's that many people, I'm sure there was some noise happening.
A neighbor pokes their head out. Hey, what's going on? They point the gun at the neighbor, get back in the house, and then they bust in. As they bust in, shot rang out, hit one of the officers. Then they say, like, police or something like that. Kenneth, stop shooting. Breonna is dead because she's been shot. How many times did she get shot?
I believe it was 6 times. It could have been 8. I'll double check that.
So she gets shot a bunch of times.
Yeah, too many.
And then they arrest him and just like leave her.
Yeah.
There was no drugs in the house.
There were no drugs.
Only probable cause they had was a relationship with the drug dealer.
Yes.
And quote unquote male. But I don't know if that can be really like probable cause.
That she had a relationship with this man and that some of his mail and packages were there and that he had picked up some stuff and they saw him picking up a package, blah, blah, blah. It could have been could have been anything. And also that her car or a car registered to her was seen at the site of a drug deal. This is something her sister said. Her sister, Janiyah Palmer, and that was also her roommate. she said that Taylor had a past relationship with Glover, but her sister was not involved in any of his drug operation, and also forbade him from bringing that aspect of his life into her personal life. She was quoted saying, "You cannot come up into my house with any drugs. My sister lives here, and I cannot jeopardize her getting hurt because of what you do." So her sister's like, my sister never would have had drugs in the house. She was in a relationship with him, but she wasn't in a relationship with his line of work. So,
I mean, she was an EMT, wasn't she?
yeah. So she was an ER tech and a former EMT.
Yeah.
She was shot at least 8 times. I just found out.
Shot 8 times. Nothing was done for her. They just let her die.
Well, I think they were more concerned with like, hey, our officer was shot. Let's get him out of here. Oh, you shot him. Let's arrest you. Well, then that 5 or 6 minutes has gone by and you've not gotten the adequate, help that she needs. So
It's like
it
8
was
officers.
Yeah, it was a small window, but aren't you trained as a police officer in CPR?
Yes.
Yeah. You're a first responder. So you're supposed to.
We had to get trained in CPR from my church. So I'm very sure that they are trained in CPR.
So there could have been something done. I mean, I'm sure she obviously had very lethal wounds, but you could have done something. From a lot of the podcasts I listen to of actual police officers who seem to do a good job and know the rules, the first business you're supposed to perform is if there is someone wounded, you say fuck the crime scene pretty much and you tend to that person. It's gonna mess up your crime scene, but the first thing you're supposed to do is tend to the person who has been wounded to try to save their lives.
It almost seemed like dirty cops to me. Because why was he so tense?
He might have just been an asshole.
Like, I'm just thinking about like, maybe I'm thinking it from like a movie perspective or whatever. But like the tense cop always got something to hide.
Yeah.
And it seemed like all of them could have been like dirty cops coming like trying to like find dude and like take care of him because like maybe they was cokeheads. Cokeheads be tense. So maybe dude was a cokehead.
Well, okay, here's the other thing that I should have mentioned. So did you know that across town at almost the same time, her ex-boyfriend was arrested? So it's called get on the radio and say, hey, we have the suspect. You still wanted, I understand they had 5 warrants and they still wanted to check all these places. But if they know that he is already taken into custody, then don't use a no-knock warrant for a single 26-year-old woman that in the middle of the night, she could be sleeping naked. She could be like, not have a lot of clothes on, obviously, whatever, just not ready for company. Give her a second. When she says, who is it? Say, it's the police. There's de-escalation. I mean, I wasn't there, obviously, but it seems like there's something amiss.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard many stories about like cops like not announcing themselves, whether it be going through somebody's backyard. I'm pretty sure there was another shooting with somebody.
There was. They shot him in the backyard. I don't remember. I should remember. Was that?
Yeah.
I don't want to say the wrong words or say the wrong name, so I'm not going to say who I'm thinking.
Yeah, I mean, like there's been plenty of cases and stuff like that where things like this have happened where cops haven't done an adequate job of either de-escalating or communicating with like what's going on, whether it be with their people or with the person they're dealing with. Like you're in the position of authority, so you have a duty to communicate and to like help this situation move smoothly, because it all rests in the cops' hands for the most part.
Sure.
Because like I've seen hella videos where like it was like a dude, he was standing with his hands up like this. He was standing outside of a Honda Civic, and I think somebody called the cops and said it was like some car that wasn't his, it wasn't that Honda Civic that he was standing out of, didn't look anything like it.
And wasn't that his own car? And didn't they say they thought he was stealing a car?
something like that.
Yeah.
And he was standing outside of the car like this, and they were like saying like all these directions and stuff like that. And they like shot him. I think they shot him first with a rubber bullet, and then he like fell into his car. And then like he was scared. He got back out, hands up and stuff like that. He's like, bro, like dog, like y'all ain't gotta shoot me. Like please don't shoot me and stuff like that. And then I think after that, at some point they shot him. And dude was just literally like standing there outside of his car. Like it was another one. This was hellas ago, but they were in like a hotel. I think it was a hotel, and it was like two guys, and it was like cops with like actual like big boy guns,
Yeah.
and they're like standing there, and the cops are giving them all these directions and stuff like put your hands behind, get on your knees, put your right hand down, like all these like specific like weird instructions and stuff
Right.
like that. And then he was like, if you put the wrong hand, if you I'm gonna shoot you. Do you understand? And they lit him up. Like I gotta find that story, but they just like took him out.
So, I mean, this is another like aspect, but I just feel like, so so much of all of it is just fear based, like you were saying earlier about fear. I
Mm-hmm.
think everything is fear based. And that's part of the problem with defund the police as well. But if you have so much fear going into a situation, fear leads to violence.
Yeah.
And if you're not getting control of this, or if everybody's in this weird, crazy headspace, like you're not there for de-escalation. You're going to react out of fear, and violence is going to ensue. That's pretty much just what's going to happen. And
Yeah.
I feel like that's like all of those situations. It's either like feeling as though like you have like a hierarchy, and like just this pompous, shitty, like I'm on a podium behavior, and also that derives from fear too. I feel like.
Yeah.
So I just think that I don't know if it's the training. I don't know what it is. I have heard that there's not like a great amount of people trying to go into the police academy right now. And so you kind of like take what you get, but you've got to be a little more picky, possibly.
Heck yeah. I mean, like, first off, the police the police force has been and always has been very reminiscent of the slave catching force. In fact, like the badges that they had looked like the badges that was like little like 6-star, like 5-star badges or
I
whatever.
think it's 5, yeah.
Yeah, they were like they looked exactly like the little like badges that slave catchers used to wear and stuff like that.
Oh, for God's
And
sakes.
so the way that they carry, the way that they police, the way that they like just do things in general is like very reminiscent of its roots. And so it's just like America in general. If you're just working off of a crappy foundation, then all you're gonna get is crappy work. Police officers only put in it's like some little bitty amount of hours to be able to actually become a police, and you go through like a month or two of training or 3 months. I don't even remember how long the police academy was or something like that. But it's like all of this stuff continues to happen
Yeah.
continuously. What is gonna happen? What's gonna change? What needs to be done to change this? Like I feel like personally there needs to be a reworking. Just like everything else in America, there
Yeah.
needs to be like a reworking of it, because everything is worked from crappy roots in America, and people don't want to talk about the crappy roots, and that's the problem. America has horrible roots. Horrible roots. This country was founded in racism and on racism. And so without acknowledging what the past looks like, you can't create a better future. So
Right.
if the police is like ran like the freaking slave catchers, if they even the badges and stuff like that are the same, you have to know that you can't expect anything different, really.
Yeah. Do you feel like there are some good police officers out there?
Yeah. Like my great uncle was a police officer for Hellas. Like I definitely believe they're good. police officers, but I've come into contact with good police officers.
Okay.
I first time I was pulled over, it was a woman and she pulled me over. It was a white woman. She pulled me over and she could tell that I did not know what to do. She could tell that I was flustered. She could tell like I didn't know what to show her or anything like that. She knew.
Sure. Yeah.
And so she was very patient with me. Good
And
officer.
did she walk you through what?
Yes, like literally, she was like, I gave her my insurance card for like my health insurance, and she was like, hey, like this is your health insurance. I need you to show me like your car insurance. And
Your
was
health
like,
insurance.
I mean, at least I got health. I ain't got to pay for my cough drops all the way.
That's really funny.
But like, so she helped me and she walked me through that and everything. But like, I've been stopped by a cop while running.
Yep.
And searched.
Yep.
So
you know how mad that makes me? Every time you tell me, I'm like, so angry.
So like, I know there are good cops out there, and if you are a good cop, please do what you can to make a change.
Yeah.
Speak up, step up, whatever it is. But
yes,
I mean,
don't stand by while somebody kneels on someone's neck for 8 minutes.
Yeah, like, so if you are a good cop, be a good cop. If you're trash, you're going to come to ruin. Yeah. In today's society, people are coming to ruin. So, like.
So this one guy who's a police officer on one of my favorite podcasts, he said, the right thing to do, even when someone pulls you over, and tell me how many times this has actually happened to you, and however many times you've been pulled over or been in contact with police. They pull you over. Do you have somebody come up to you and say, license and registration? Or do you have them say, hi, I'm Detective Gray. You were pulled over because you have a broken taillight. I need your license and registrations, please.
First time I was pulled over, she pulled me over. She was like, hey, you were going like 79 in a 60.
In a 35.
She was like, we don't like, she was like, that was a little fast. We don't drive like that around here. We don't stuff like that. I was like, oh. Second time, he was like, he pulled me over and he said like, yo, you your plates are bad. Cause this is when I got pulled over as I was going to get my plates taken care of.
Yep.
He was like, yeah, your plates are bad or whatever. And I was like, yeah, like I'm finna go take care of it. Here's my stuff right here. I had just gotten a ticket for it while my car was parked on the loop in a parking lot.
Uh-huh.
So I think I'm pretty sure they've always been like, yo, like, are you aware of this?
Yeah.
But I'd be like super tense. Like I'd be so scared in them situations. My hands be shaking. So I'm pretty sure that's what they say.
Yeah. I have had a lot of experiences where no one's ever said what their name is.
Oh no, I've never gotten a name.
Yeah, because they're supposed to, as this guy who is actually like in charge of like pretty much the police department said, you are supposed to state your name and they can see your badge number. I am police officer, blah, blah, blah. This is why you were pulled over. This is what we need to do next. And he's like, and anybody that doesn't do that is just like being pompous, being like confrontational, being, just like there's no harm in doing your job the right way. Those are the steps that leads to less confrontation. Tell people what's going on and don't just use your power to be like, hey, license and registration. Oh, sorry, officer. Could you tell me why I was pulled over? License and registration. Okay. Right there. That's a conflict. Why? So it's that little tiny example all the way up to this huge example that we're talking about now. It's like, was there some sort of shitty, pompous behavior that's like, hey, I'm better than this situation?
Well, we know it was because he pointed the gun at the person and poked their head out.
Right.
So if you're going into a situation like that, you can expect nothing but.
Well,
Um,
he was the one that shot from outside and got fired. So that
yeah.
that part's good. But the other 2 officers, nothing has happened.
Yeah. I mean, I just a random thought. Guys, we gotta stop hiring officers with superiority complexes or small penises. Come on, guys.
Is there going to be like a pants dropping interview?
I guess so. Y'all need to do like a penis check or something. I don't know, but you,
Mhm.
you gotta stop because or at least let them be confident in what
Yeah,
in what they bring to the situation.
absolutely. Yeah.
Because if you guys are just gonna keep hiring people that have all these issues with how they feel about stuff or themselves, or people just got people don't know how to separate their life and what's going on. That's something in art that you learn. So guys, let's start funding art, and then maybe things will
Yeah.
change. So yeah, guys, definitely continue to look into this. Continue to do your research about the whole Breonna Taylor case.
Yep.
We really wanted to bring out a lot of the facts and kind of talk through them. A lot of times we get caught up in like social media and stuff like that, and social media doesn't have all the facts. So
Right.
thank you, Mandy, for doing some wonderful research.
No problem.
And as always, support Black businesses and love your
Yes.
neighbor.
Greenwood District.
Greenwood District, yes. Support Black businesses such as Greenwood District, as Mandy just mentioned. Our dear friends over at Greenwood District are doing some great things. Head over to their website, greenwooddistrict.com. Use our code UHuman at checkout and take a picture and tag us on your socials.
Yep.
So we can shout you out.
And if you can't remember any of this, just go to one place where it's
go to
that
our
Marcus.
website.
That's it.
Go to our website, www.uhumanpodcast.com. Everything you want is there, from our blog to our merch to our episodes or videos. Everything You Human, social media, all of it is all there. Everything Unapologetically Human is on our website, www.uhumanpodcast.com. All right. So once again, thank you for joining us for this episode. We will see you next week. Thank you for your support. We love you. You're great. Be smart. Protect yourself. Do your own research. Find out the facts. And live long and prosper.
All right. Bye.
Bye.